Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 2 Grand Finals here at the North American Challenger League. I am Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me is Daniel Egad Caruso, and we're about to get underway with the last series of games this season.
It's going to be very exciting. Team 8 working their way all the way up here. They actually qualified, too, to enter. Now they're in the grand finals. Going to be awesome to see them come back together here. We're in picks and bans. LMQ, they've been a powerhouse of the challenger scene for quite a while now, and they made their way to the grand finals. And we're going to swing right on into champion picks and bans, and this is going to be an exciting best of 5.
I am so excited for this because this is one of the big sort of up-and-coming rivalries of the challenger scene. LMQ having knocked Team 8 out of contention for next for qualifying for next season of LCS just by taking them out of the NACS. So here in NACL, this is their time to shine. Team $8,000 has been spread around everywhere. First place prize, of course, is $8,000 of the $20,000 prize pool for tonight's games. We're in picks and bans are already done. Italy banned out against California Trolls. No surprises there.
Yeah, Lee Sin taken away from Porpoise in that jungle role, who will be taking over, SJC's spot. Riven away from California Trolls as well. We could see Gesse take it not into the mid lane, Slushy into the mid lane. But, it's more mostly
that's actually what I'm expecting. They're banning out Slushy's Riven, and that's kind of surprising. You don't see his Riven really targeted there because he's proven that he can play just about anything else. So they're going to lock in an Elise for Porpoise Pops, but that means that No Name's going to get his Kha'Zix.
The last 3 bans, too, were LeBlanc, Renekton, and Lulu. Very typical bans to come out, taking away Ackerman's top Renekton. He's been so good on that champion. He played it all 3 games yesterday, which against Cloud9 made him have a really rough time.
Yeah, that was rough. The games against Cloud9 were very indicative of kind of LMQ's style. They're very dominant, they're very methodical, but every once in a while, Baron Nashor kind of rears his ugly head. That's once we hit like the 25 to 35 minute mark, things are going to get a little bit iffy depending on who's ahead, whether or not Nashor is an issue. But as far as the champion choices, looking to lock in probably the AD carry pick here for Vasily. Take away that Caitlyn. Okay, then that's actually a really big deal because all this season we've seen Vasily have strong games on Lucian, weak games on Sivir. And more importantly, it's Maple Street, who's had devastating Lucian games. Like, he has had some of the sickest outplays on Lucian I've ever seen.
All right, and we'll see if he can take it against that Caitlyn matchup. So Lomo Street looking to go for the safer Caitlyn lane. Could be paired up with an Annie. We could see him go with Leona too down there. There was the indication of a Thresh possibly picked up for Dodo 8, but his Annie play has been phenomenal this entire season. Ziggs was locked in for Wei Zhao for the mid lane. Going to be going up against Slushy here, maybe going for the Orianna. We saw Orianna played yesterday by Wei Zhao, and he had some amazing shockwaves, but you need the follow-up behind it. So, hit a 3-man shockwave earlier on in the game, but there was nothing to follow up, so just really look cool. We're like, where are they going with this one? But they decided not to go. The Morgana pickup, something that's been booming lately, and we could see that go to support for Dodo 8. Fits his style. He likes to play the APs and likes to be bursty.
But the real big question that you have right now is how do you counter out the Sivir? It's been kind of huge, especially here in the playoffs, and especially against LMQ in the last series that they played versus Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. The idea is, like, Sivir just shrinks the map down. It makes it really hard to run away because you can cover so much distance so quickly. And a lot of times you combo that with, like, a big, hard-engaged jungler like Vi or Pantheon. This time around, LMQ have Kha'Zix, who he's got a slow, but he doesn't really have that big, hard CC to force fights to start. And he's surely not the guy you want jumping in first before everybody else.
So we could see Shyvana. We could see a Rise top 2 make it go to the super late game where you want to just have him start two-shotting people with the crazy amount of damage. There's the Shyvana. The Heimerdinger pick, that's not going to go through. Karma, though. Karma, Sivir, Talisman of Ascension, the fastest combination you can get in that bot lane. There it is, locked in. Against Morgana, you can pop the Black Shield early, and you will get the after effect of the Q if you have it mantraed up. So, going to be very interesting to see the counter pick to Morgana coming out. It's not that easy to play, but I'm sure Mora can do that, and Vasily following up would be pretty good.
Right. Well, the big deal here for LMQ is that by taking the Karma, that actually removes any possibility of anything other than just that Talisman of Ascension countering out Sivir's on the hunt. So when you have a Karma against the Sivir, you just Monster your Inspire when she pops on the hunt, and you both kind of just run away from each other pretty quickly. This way, it's, like you said, those 3 big AoE movement speed buffs on the hunt, Talisman of Ascension, and the Mantra to Inspire that all make LMQ... They've got so many move fast buttons that when Team
press R.
Exactly. I don't know how Team 8 are going to deal with that. Suppression from Urgot's hyperkinetic position reverser.
Okay.
Probably not a good way to do it. But if there's been one member who's surprised us all season long, it's been California Trolls. And just like he did in the semifinals, he's bringing out the Kale.
All right, and he did counter out Rux's Shyvana. No, it was Hauntzer's Shyvana.
Yeah.
Haunzer played a phenomenal Shyvana, but the Kale was the perfect response to it. Just doing so much damage to him late game. He built the Nashor's Tooth. He went for Lich Bane. He didn't care. He's nerfed. Whatever. Just keep swinging back and forth. And we might see a lane swap come out. That was one of the counters that they looked for. But LMQ, I'm pretty sure they'll have some strategy whipped up there, even if Shyvana does get countered out. So going to be a fun and amazing set. This is going to be a best of 5. If it goes to all 5 games,
I'm so excited. There's 5 potential games you guys could be seeing tonight. Keep in mind, it's first place of $8,000. Total prize pool, of course, is $20,000 for this entire tournament. And well, what better way to end it than Team 8, kind of the new up-and-coming team. They had to qualify for this season. They fought their way up the ranks as a new team, beat the very best teams in NACL. That's why they're here taking on LMQ Tianzi iBUYPOWER. So we'll get into our first game of this Grand Finals Best of 5 here in just a second, but not before giving a shout-out to our sponsors.
You check them out down below. Loot Crate, $13.37 a month. Get a nice little crate delivered to your door with the latest Gamer Geek swag, apparel, and goodies. They have a theme shirt every month. Marches with Attack on Titanfall, a little bit of anime, a little bit of mech mixed into one. So check out and wait for April's. And you can check out Phoenix Peripherals, phoenixcollection.com. They have the most elegantly crafted and impeccably designed equipment for your computer. Keyboards, mice, mousepads, and headsets. So go check them out.
And if you're looking to level up your game, you can head over to lolclass.com by clicking the link right down below, or of course just typing in lolclass.com. It's a lot easier than you'd think. And there you can sign up for a very affordable lesson with some of your favorite Challenger and LCS pros playing some of their favorite champions. You get to know the ins and outs of that in a classroom setting, and it's a nice way to, like I said, level up your game. Head over to lolclass.com and check it out. Enjoy some of the music provided by Monster Cat over our commercial breaks, and we do want to thank them for providing that to us. And thank you guys for tuning in for the NACL Season 2 Grand Finals. Game 1 of our Grand Final Best of 5 between LMQ, Tianzi, iBUYPOWER, and Team 8's coming up next.
Carrying coffins.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NACL Season 2 Grand Finals. I am Rapid. I'm here with EGAD. We're taking you out onto the Rift for game number 1 of our Best of 5 series. It's LMQ, Tianzi, iBUYPOWER, your team in the blue, taking on Team 8 in the red.
And as they get onto the Rift, everyone can be spreading out into that 5-point spread that we normally are used to seeing. And I don't really expect anything crazy out of this. This is a grand final. You want to take it safe. You want to play it safe, but an early pink board coming out again. This is a strategy California Trolls did 2 out of the 3 games he played Kale.
Well, it's 2 out of 3 games he played teleport top lane.
Yeah.
So what he does is, to elaborate on the strategy, he'll buy a flask and a pink ward, place the pink ward down early on, and then help the jungler jungle early on in the game to get a little bit of free XP before he teleports into lane after going back to base and buying some potions to make up for that early gold that he spent on the pink ward.
Yep.
He's essentially using the teleport to get himself free money, enough for those early potions and the pink ward.
All right, so actually, teammate ripping up, maybe looking for some kind of crazy invade to go in. They already placed up the pink. They're looking for where is Kazik starting? Where is the no-name going to go? He's not been spotted out. They landed a binding in the brush. They know someone was kind of there checking, but the rotation now coming in from teammate. They're going to rotate towards the red, maybe go towards the ramp and go towards a blue steal.
Yeah, this is a blue steal coming out from LMQ. They want to take this away, and you can kind of see that Porpoise Pops, he's not just going straight for his blue. He's like, oh, I get a free blue buff. How nice of LMQ to give this to me.
They might not. They are going to be looking for the invade. They're going to run in. And actually, we might see a full-on 4v5 from the side of LMQ. They're going to throw out the ball. They're going to get pincered in here. Piltover Peaceburger comes through, does not connect. They're going to turn it to California Trolls. They throw out the mustard up. Q, the binding comes in. They flash forward for Elise. They force the flash at a no-name. Morgana's chasing him out. But more flashes into 2. Looking for a kill on a California Trolls. Can he get the kill with the auto attack? He does! More goes down, but it will be Vasily, more, no name, all falling. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of Team 8. That invade backfired hard.
It was a perfect way to counter that out. And how Team 8 knew to prepare that well
that
for
pink ward.
Well, the pink ward didn't scout them coming out around the bottom half. They're just like, hey, invades, something LMQ love to do, and the pincer move around behind LMQ was just absolutely brilliant. Now, granted, Moore did get the first kill, but it's first blood before 4 minutes,
that
so it
gold.
Doesn't actually give you that much gold. And it's on the support, whereas those 3 kills went on support, 80 carry, and the jungler.
That is ridiculous. There was also a Doran's Blade start for the Elise too, so she did a bunch of extra damage with those auto attacks, and when she turned to the spider form. That's the start you want from the side of Team 8. You need to get that momentum rolling. There's a binding connecting down bot, looking for a bunch of poke. They do find it. They force the Black Shield onto from Maple Street, though. He'll just go back to sustaining. He's got a pot ticking away as well. I thought they went back to buy. They decided not to. They went to lane and soaked up all the XP they can to get that lead. A lot of harass coming in from Vasily, though. They're still fairly healthy. From Maple Street has to kind of play it safe. He does have his summoners, so gotta keep it up ahead. But this early game, it should be looking for some early ganks, too.
Man, Maple Street is eating every single one of those inner fires. They're just coming right at it, and he hasn't really been able to dodge them just yet. Now, he did get the chance to head back to base, or no, he didn't head back to base.
Nope.
He got the health potion from just the regular start, but the kill that he got doesn't really matter all that much. We might see him take an early trip back to put that early gold to use, but you can see Vasily is running all the way forward, wants to try to stop him from going back.
If he can, that'd be really good, but it looks like from Maple Street will get to go back. This top lane, though, he got the regular sustain, he got a ward, he's keeping himself safe. California Trolls going to just be keeping on that pushing game, going to keep the Shyvana back, keep him underneath turret, and to watch out for, any sneaky ganks from no name. That Kazik, if he gets rolling, the early game would actually probably mean nothing, so...
Well, and that's the cool thing about what California Trolls does with this sort of pink ward start into a teleport to lane after buying consumables. Usually as a top laner, you can't find room in your early game build for a ward or for those extra potions. But he actually finds room for all of those because he gets that early CS, the early gold. And especially after getting, I believe he got all 3 assists there, similar to the mid lane. Slushie got 3 of them as well. So about the best start you could possibly ask for as a top laner. You've got that ward to counter out early games for Kha'Zix. You see No Name's not even trying for anything before his first trip back to base.
As soon as his warding totem ward fell, he just went straight for the green warm. Was like, all right, I'm protected for another 3 minutes here. They're looking for the heal coming out. He just gets to run away from the burnout. Gonna apply some of that poke, that Q. And as this game moves on, moves forward, we're going to see just Kale scale so hard. The Nashor's Tooth is just applying so much extra magic damage there. And with the synergy that, you have with the
Cocoon will land on a Xiao. Xiao, a ton of damage coming in. Takes it down to half health. And not to sidetrack you from your previous point, Dan, but yeah, California Troll is going to put the Kale in scale and really take that top lane home if Ackerman doesn't get any help.
Yeah, he's already CSing pretty well, though, because he did get to go to that lane earlier on, so we got an extra wave or 2 over him. He's going to use that to his advantage, but, those 3 assists do help out Cali Trolls either way. And with that, there's still flash available to mid after that gank, so the Cocoon, forcing out a Satchel Charge, forcing some more passive play. We're seeing, Porpoise try to make things happen early on, and focusing on the mid lane, that is a lane to go for, as he's kind of hiding towards that brush already, looking to make something happen. There is a very low Wei Xiao on that Ziggs.
And Xiao didn't burn his flash last time, just went for the Satchel Charge. Here's the repel in from Porpoise Pops, right into No Name Cocoon, and he's not face-checking the bush. No. So smart from Porpoise.
All right, so not going to run into that counter gank there. That's what Kha'Zix can live off of, just waiting to counter gank back and forth. And
well, I mean, anytime the mid laner just runs straight for the brush.
To a brush, you don't have ward, you're like, I don't think so.
Probably a sign that something's going on.
And fishy enough. We do see the ult coming in from Ziggs early on to shove down that wave. Ooh, Binding doesn't even connect. They throw the pool underneath that. Vasily taking a bunch of damage. Trap comes out a little too late, though. A response from the Karma with some poke of her own. And tethering up from Maple Street there. They just back on off. Vasily will chug away at the potions. He's got a Vamp Scepter, so he's got a bit of sustain already. And shielded up those bindings, but that puts shield on quite a long cooldown, so you got to be a little careful with that, because next binding could hit, if anything. It is on a lower cooldown.
Now, theoretically, Sivir does very well against Caitlyn as far as, she's going to be able to get free mana to shove the wave out, and now Spell Shield actually gives you even more mana back.
Yep.
But like you said, it does have a pretty decent cooldown there. The only problem is that Sivir has an incredibly short range for 80 carries versus Caitlyn's incredibly long range, and that is really what sets Caitlyn apart in that lane and allows her somewhat of a harass advantage, but if you keep giving Sivir that mana from Spell Shield, it's just going to wave clear against you.
Non-stop wave clear is always annoying to deal with, so they're going to go back to CSing here. Vasily, despite the range disadvantage, he's keeping up. He's got the minor lead so far, doing a good job of stopping bindings and traps with this shield from himself. We're looking as, I'm seeing, Porpoise Pop come down. He looks like he's going to attempt to gank down there, rely on the binding to connect, and we could see some summoners and maybe a kill down there. Ackerman has hit level 6, so that Dragon's Ascent is relevant. Looking for the repel in. The binding comes out. It does get spell shielded, and you see Porpoise Pop like, nah, I'm going to go back to the river.
All right, but Dodo 8's continuing to get those nice stacks of the Spell Thief's Edge in there. He's continuing to get tons of extra gold that way. Kind of the same thing for Moore's Karma at this point in the early game. It's just all about harass, getting that early gold. You might see both supports sell those Spell Thieves for a Talisman of Ascension later on, but Slushie's going to his blue buff, but finds a bug on his way.
Yeah, he gets slowed up there, but he'll be able to go to that, no problem. And Nona will back off to help push mid lane with Wei Xiao. And as we get to the second rotation of buffs, blue buffs should be going to the mid laners. They're going to pick up the reds and maybe look to go towards top now, because Divine Intervention is available for Cali Trolls. Shockwave's available mid, if anything, for Slushie. And we could see some kill potential for Team 8, if anything. But you have to be careful. The dive's not really the most important thing. But Ackerman looking to go all in here onto California Trolls, using all that damage from the burnout. Going to flash forward, ignite, force the flash out of Cali Trolls. He'll use the Divine Intervention and ignore that damage and go right on back to base.
But that's a net win there for California Trolls, because while it does give Ackerman a free lane, it also burns 2 summoners for just the 1 flash out of California Trolls. So Ackerman's just trying to put on so much pressure that maybe in the future that lack of a flash gives him the mobility to be able to take out Kale. But there's a teleport back to the turret, and Kale's right back in lane.
That new animation is pretty cool looking.
It really is. So if you guys want to bring more teleports and you play in NACL, I highly recommend it, because it looks so cool. So at least you get style points.
Style points for that one. Red buff's cleared out, so looking for something. Dodo 8 looking for a binding on the more bot. No, just goes in the pool. 5 gold, worth it. I think, are we going to see 2 Frostwing claims, you think?
You already see the not quite first item Frost Queen's claim, but Dodo 8 with that the Spell Thief's Edge is looking for that after the Sightstone. So might see, just like you said, straight up wanting that extra gold and then building it up.
Oh.
Some aggressive farming from Slushie in the mid lane. I believe we're supposed to call that alternative CSing tactics, Dan. But yeah, somewhat suboptimal, let's put it that way. And that will be a shockwave down for the next 70 seconds.
So a little bit of
Communication
there.
Mispositioning there on the
Mispositioning
ball.
of the ball. There we go for the shockwave. But either way, nothing comes out of it. Gets some CS. We do see Wei Zhao force the flash away from Pops' cocoon.
He didn't even have to do anything. He just walked into lane.
Yeah.
Flash, piece.
Self charge was down, I guess. He was using it for farming. So gonna see if that affects him anymore. As Porpoise Pops has kind of been making a tent there. He's looking to go in again. Can he find the repel? He goes into human form, throws up the neurotoxin, but backs on out as he gets the hint that No Name is coming.
Porpoise Pops has been doing such a good job all game long of reading those counter ganks and not committing anytime he knows that No Name's in the area.
It's a good job from both junglers, making sure that their mid laners stay safe and kind of reading each other, just staying on the opposite sides of the jungler. No Name, looking for possibly some aggressive invading of the jungle. No, besides not, just drops a ward. There's a ping coming out, and they know it's there, so they'll be wary of that. I don't really see too many things going on besides this push in the mid lane, and Wei Zhao looking to get that down early. We do have a pink ward getting dropped out there from Moore. It'll clear out the tri-brush. Binding does not connect. The battle of the supports going down. Chain going to connect, but Spell Shield doesn't get popped in time, and it does end up fizzling. So the Karma Morgana matchup, very interesting.
Yeah, Karma Morgana, that's one interesting matchup. I'm actually really interested in that Kayle matchup top lane. Ooh, a nice Caitlyn move there. Where you reposition yourself with the net, and even though the net didn't hit, Piltover Peacemaker actually did. So nice trade there for Maple, but he's going to have to watch out on his mana, especially with No Name bottom. Might be a pretty aggressive gank coming in here. I guess all ganks are inherently aggressive. I don't know. I mean, Porpoise Pops did a gank mid lane where he just walked in and forced a flash, which wasn't the most aggressive thing in the world. It still counts as a gank.
All right, and the first turret of the game does end up going down in that bot lane. In the first dragon of the game, Teammate, throughout this entire semifinals, have been on point with those dragons. They just have timings. They have perfect rotations. They realize when people are missing and going back to shop, and they're like, all right, let's go 3-man this dragon, take it down, get the timer, and we'll make a plan for the next one.
Yeah, and keep in mind, that's their first turret for Team 8, first dragon for them as well. And with the way that that level 1 worked out, the 1-3 advantage, that's about the best start you could ever ask for. And Slushie's been getting pressured super hard mid. And so when I was thinking about first turrets going, I thought LMQ were going to take that one. But at the same time, I kind of underestimated that pushing advantage. And there you go, first turret is down. And Team 8, or LMQ rather, they've been a team that's been inherently, or all season long, they've been totally willing to give up dragons, give up turrets maybe early, and then pick them up late. Because LMQ, I mean, sometimes they come out just all guns blazing, but other times it takes them a while to get going.
And I think this game is going to be one of those later going stages. So, you know, Zig's late game really good. Shyvana can, when she gets to play the Rune King, start chasing people down. Sivir, she's going to be that timid team initiator that everybody wants, the hunt to chase down or disengage, if anything. The way the lanes are going, though, you know, we have a lead for California Trolls. This is what we expected from him and this matchup. He's going to dive in. He's going to get dove on from Ackerman. There's the stealth coming in from No Name as well. He's going to try to get out, heals himself, gets the speed, pops the Divine Dimension, but he's going to end up falling here. Zig's bomb comes through. Will they let him get the kill they're trying to? And it will be a kill tossed over to Wei Zhao.
Wow.
You can see the priority. They want him to get fed on that Ziggs.
Yeah, and it's not often that you see a kill being given away to a guy that's actually all the way in another lane.
Yeah.
But all the Wei Zhao in mid does pick up that kill. And
it's kind of like the idea of, all right, Karthus, press R, we're going to feed you a kill. Enjoy.
It's just more of like a single target R. It's like, I'm going to target that guy, and way out there in the side lane, Wei Zhao, like you said, getting that money. And for LMQ, Wei Zhao sometimes has to kind of make up for Vasily, who has had a few rough performances this season, but looking for one more.
Shackles come out. He is going to end up dying. California Trolls
like, Kayle? Why are you there? What happened? Why is there Kayle in my lane? But that's actually not necessarily the greatest teleport. Pretty sure Vasily was pretty dead there regardless of Kayle coming in. But there's no turret to push down there, and they already got dragons. So you're going to see a very long rotation mid, which should give Ackerman enough time to take top turret.
All right, so with that free turret, they'll be picking up. They could look to try to force this down as fast as possible. Shockwave, ace in the hole, cocoon! Everything synergizing perfectly.
Oh my God.
Team 8 with the CC on point. Find that free kill, and now they should find a free tier 1 turret, so trading that up top is worth it. Moore, going to be looking to get dove on here from California Trolls, but he gets bound up down there. You got to be the
Flash
chase from the hunt for
too.
Vasily. Going to get the reckoning and the slow onto him. Can he get away is the question. He's going to maybe look to turn. No, pops the heal, pops the flask, and he'll be able to get away. And that tier 1 turret of the mid lane does fall, looking for a tier 2 team 8 with perfect rotation. Looking for California Trolls not to die. Can he get away? Flashing forward. He gets the heal. He's able to run one more auto attack. Can it come in from Vasily? Boomerang blade from the long range finds the kill. Binding through the wall from Dodo locks him up, and Porpoise Deluxe gonna find himself the counter kill there. And that was an interesting chase from Vasily.
I'm really disappointed Porpoise Deluxe changed his name from Porpoise Pops, because he walked around the corner and he Porpoise popped Vasily. And with Vasily going down, that's 2 times in a row. He's just kind of been chasing and he's like, all right, I gotta kill guys. It's cool. And then he just dies. And as an AD carry, almost more important than picking up kills is just staying alive and farming.
Yeah, farming, very, very important. Everybody doing that pretty well this game. You know, Wei Zhao has the lead. The Ziggs is so good at doing that. They do have one more outer turret in the top lane to take down, and they start moving on to those little inner ones in the tier 2s. I don't know. That chase was a little iffy to me.
The chase was iffy. The TP bottom from California Trolls, I didn't believe in it, but I need to learn to believe in, I want to say believe EV, but they're no longer here. After having been taken out by LMQ, maybe there's a little bit of belief in us all after that.
Oh, Akari gonna find Trolls, stealthing in, no name. Will he find the leap is the question. Gonna stealth in one more time, get that speed up, gonna jump in, and it will be the claws for the kill as no name takes down Trolls. We're gonna see Shackles onto more, binding, pool, everything to follow suit. Command, attack, and dissonance will find the kill for Slushi. They do trade 1 for 1. There's a tier 1 turret going down now, tier 2, excuse me, in this top lane, while down. What turret fell? I don't know. Mid? No? Bot? No? Bot. There we go.
It was. So 2 turrets down there for Team 8, but just like that, it's 3 for LMQ, who answer back in a big way, taking down that second tier turret. Slushi might be able to get a grab here on Zhao. Zhao forces the flash.
All right, so Shockwave going to force out that really long cooldown. Shockwave will be up in about a minute and a half or so. Going to see what they can do with now. Ziggs with no flash. They can try to catch him out again with another like cocoon into ace in the hole like they did last time. They use a lot to kill him. It's going to be pretty annoying to catch the Ziggs out of place.
Well, to be honest, LMQ are doing a lot to get Zhao a lot of gold. Like we saw it, handing him over that kill from across the map, allowing him to get that with the Mega Inferno Bomb on California Trolls earlier. So both teams just really putting a lot of focus there on the mid lane, on making sure Zhao either gets fed, if it's LMQ, or keeps from getting fed if you're Team 8. And the thing that Team 8 are always so well known for doing is anytime their opponents do anything, they come up with a better counter strategy. Last time, when the second tier turret went down top, they didn't do anything off that. They're kind of coming out of base, going back into base, and in that transitional period, weren't able to capitalize. But now with Dragon up in 10 seconds, see if Team 8 can make this one theirs.
They drop the totem ward in there, too, to clear out that pink ward. Pink ward over the ledge will spot them. Those bouncing bombs are going to soon to follow. And Cocoon connects. That's the target they want. But they cannot collapse on that, unfortunately. So they're going to be forced to back out and be zoned away by the mines. The Dragon did spawn. So both teams.
That's a horrible way to walk in.
Yeah, that's just Ziggs' territory. Going to be mines, satchel charges galore with bouncing bombs to follow suit. We do have all 5 members from both sides heading on down. Dragon's Descent comes through. They activate the hunt. They're looking for a kill. There is the bomb on a 3. They're going to get a jump in from No Name, as well as the Shackles to force him to disengage. Bouncing bombs, boomerang blades, everything just hitting. Vasily finds a kill onto Dodo. California Trolls and Porpoise on the other side of that fight, though. So couldn't find anything. No Name jumps over the wall, able to get in, force out that divided intervention. They're going to chase this one out with the Mantra Inspire. And with that, they find 2 for none. And are they going to go to Baron?
You almost
18 and a half minutes?
Okay, 18-minute Baron's a little bit early, and LMQ have had some of the more questionable Baron calls. Now, granted, Porpoise Pops is still alive, so this is not the
50-50?
worst situation for Team 8. And with Baron being so low level, should actually die pretty quickly. So if you're talking about smite steals,
Shockwave is there.
now's the time to do it.
Oh, Cocoon comes out. Will he go in that spider form? There's a bunch of damage going into the Wei Zhao. It's going to be the ball into the pit. Can they find it? Teleport comes through. He's got to repel it now. Shockwave comes through. No Name leaps out. The Baron kills Ackerman. Going to be a turnaround here. The body does not connect. Wei Zhao does take down Porpoise Deluxe. Going to be a chase out here. The Piltover Peacemaker does not connect. They're going to turn their attention to Baron. There's a bunch of low LMQ members. The Bouncing Bomb does connect.
Maple Street.
He's going to heal off the ward. We're going to see that bomb come through. Does connect to the Slushi. Command protects that one. Moore gets chased down. There's the Frost Queen's Claim coming in for a slow. They just give up the chase on a Moore. And with that, you know, teammate hold off LMQ's Baron. That was a risky Baron either way. And we see a very, very close hold. Oh, my.
Lord Baron presiding over the 18-minute mark in the game. He showed up to court early, and he's just laying down the law. And
I don't know about those calls.
LMQ, I almost feel like instead of just saying, hey, we want a Baron because we need to be strong right now, all they're doing is saying, look, we want to force you to come fight us. And teammate actually rose to the occasion there. That was really impressive play. You can see Slushy's actually trying to trade tank that with California Trolls and keep that auto attack speed slow from going his way. And that's a dragon off of a Baron stop from Team 8.
The thing is, LMQ were in a position to actually do that dragon and just back off, take the free global gold, get the timer and set up for like a push. But they wanted to just fight Baron. So good job by Team 8 responding. They find themselves something at least. They do pick up... No, Baron picked up the kill on Ackerman, so Lord Baron
he
taking his sacrifice.
There. Just like, and you are the weakest dragon. Goodbye.
Oh, man. So they do find a bunch of damage on a Porpoise. Inspire comes out. Is he going to look for the chain? No. Gets a Cocoon and forced to disengage. Porpoise pops getting away just fine. Pink Ward's coming out looking for some clears as now teammate are like, all right, these guys are going to look for possibly another Baron attempt. We got to clear it out, keep it safe for us, make sure that we can counter it again.
Well, and that's the thing about this game is there's no sort of passivity. It's all, I'm going to make this big play, all right? I'm going to counter it this way. It's so active, so just kind of forcing really both teams, but mostly Team 8, to come up with the perfect counterplay for everything that LMQ are doing. And look, maybe a little bit shaky there at that last dragon fight. Team 8 answered back in a big way, stopped the Baron, and have been able to kind of right themselves, but... For how long? We've got ward coverage starting to come up, turrets starting to fall. That means this game is getting towards that late game a little bit ahead of schedule.
All right, and item builds coming out. We have the Shiv, not a PD, from Maple Street there with the BT. While, Vasily works for his PD, he's going to be looking for a lot of movement speed, looking to chase down everybody that he can. And Frostwing Claim not completed for Dodo. Meanwhile, we saw Moore use his to actually get away and keep alive from... California Trolls. He's building towards Mikhails. Mikhails was rushed out for Dodo. Does not want to see, anybody get chained up that doesn't want to be chained up.
Right, and the big thing about Sivir is that your team moves faster than the guys you're chasing. So if you can land any pick abilities, they're super, super effective. And whether it's the Frost Queen's Claim, the Tether, the Monstered Inner Fire, you've got even Satchel Shards coming out. Binding there from...
Both Qs trading.
Like, I'm going to Q you. No, I'm going to Q you. No, and that's the support wars, but...
Yeah, they're making money off it at least. 10 gold apiece. 10 gold a spell. Not bad. Meanwhile, there's a little brush camp up here coming in from No Name and Ackerman. They're like, all right, he's not coming up. We're just going to go back to farming.
Time to farm the wave.
And Banshee's Veil was rushed out there for Ackerman, so looking to stop some of the damage from Trolls and from the Orianna. I like the buy. It's really strong. Going to see Pink Wards get cleared out as well as Wars get placed in response. Moore did get bound up there again. He's kind of been a binding magnet.
Bindings, have been hitting just all over the place. Mostly all over Moore, like you said. He's got magnets in his pockets now.
Will he
calling back to base. I would have loved the area of effect.
Stayed.
Oh, no,
Ackerman's still up there. This is going to be a bait. He's going to stealth out of that brush and just go in. All right. Let's see. Will it happen now?
California Trolls. He's been baited out so many times, and here comes No Name.
Leaping over that wall, does find it, but will not find a slow or anything else. A hunt to California Trolls. Well down bot. It's going to be Vasily chasing down Slushy. Can he find the kill? Forces out the barrier, looking for some crits. Shockwave comes out, but he flashes it underneath turret. Vasily finds the 1v1. And that is a crucial kill. He'll be able to push on this tier 2. No, maybe he's deciding if he wants to go back or not. No Name gets caught by a binding in a pool. And with that death on a Slushy, that puts a lot of pressure on a teammate to hold this next push. While Trolls comes down, the shield is not up. The barrier comes out. Can he win this 1v1? It looks like the answer is yes. There is no barrier on Vasily. And Kale is pretty strong at that 1v1 situation.
Man, California Trolls is like the worst Guardian Angel ever. It's just like, oh, what's that? You're in danger? Hold on. I'll be right. Oh, you died. Well, don't worry. I got this. Picks up the counter kill. And while it's nice to have a 1-for-1, it's also nice to not get dove under your second tier turret by the enemy's solo 80 carry. Yeah. That's that Vasily style, and it's gotten him caught out a couple times. Nice to see it finally working out.
Yeah, man, and he goes back. He's looking for his last Whisper, too. So he almost has the Holy Trinity of items. The Holy Trinity? Totally Trinity of items? I don't know. But
the last Whisper is going to be big, but it's not really going to be as huge as you'd expect against like a big super tank lineup, because there's actually no individual armor item completed for Team 8. So if Vasily gets huge, he's going to be doing a lot of damage.
Well, Trolls has the Zaya's Hourglass at least completed. So
okay, all right. That counts, but it's his pretty traditional build regardless of how he plays it. Wants that, like, it's kind of like playing a Lissandra. Like, you want that chain invulnerability.
All right, picks up another blasting one here, looking for the possible Lich Bane or Death Cap. We'll see which route he wants to go here. And kind of after, you know, Vasily died, they're like, all right, we're not going to push any further. Teammate held the tier 2. And actually, it's really hard to hold the push against Zig. So Orianna is a good answer to that one. You just throw out the ball, have it attack through the wave, and just have it distort whatever you can. And with her build right now, with the Death Cap and the Fiends, she's set to clear waves for as long as he can. As long as he wants.
Oh, man. All right, so we actually finally have what feels like maybe the first downtime in the game. It's
it's only 7,000 gold. It's 2 turrets behind for teammates. And it feels like it's more. It just feels like this is like a 50-minute stage part of the game, and it's just like 1 ace or like 3 kills could signify, you know, inhibitor or just game.
Well, it's like 500 gold separate these two teams. And if you look at the turret count, the thing that's more impressive to me is that Team 8 took a 2-0 turret lead, and then LMQ just smashed 4 turrets in a row. So they kind of set him up, and then like dominoes kind of just fell down. LMQ, they come back to a turret lead, but like we said, still tied in gold.
And they're looking for this next dragon here. 20 seconds on that one. It is going to be worth quite a bit of gold, so both these teams do want to secure that objective. This could be the next time for the next big fight. Teleport is available for Cali Trolls. He's going to actually be with his team, so not have to use that one and not have to worry about it. As wards are getting cleared out, pink wards are getting dropped. Binding comes through, does not connect onto Weizhao, very close to hitting him. The ball is going to be used to establish that zone, make sure that nobody walks there. And now this is where the poke wars begin. Weizhao without a blue buff, though, could run into mana. Binding connects on a no name. But Dragon's being started.
Look at how Team 8 have adapted between this Dragon fight and the last one. Such positioning, much engaged.
Comes out. Binding stops more, though. There's the bomb on a 4. Gonna see the Dragon go over to Porpoise Pops with the smite through the wall. Mikhail's Crucible heals him up. Shockwave hits onto Vasily. If anybody got hit by that one, it is him, and it will be Trolls fighting the kill. Cocoon onto Moore. Morgana over the wall, but in the meanwhile, we're getting the resets coming in from No Name, but it's not out to take down Slushy. He finds one. More on the side, looking to run away. Porpoise Pops. Gonna look for the chase onto him. Can he catch up is the question. That's a lot of AP on that Karma. Decides to back on off. More. Can he find the kill? Cocoon comes out on top of that one. He will back off. That's a 1 for 2. And Dragon in favor of Team 8.
And Dodo 8 flashed over the wall and lived with under 100 hit points. Made it out alive. Moore actually made it out alive too, and actually almost killed Porpoise Pops at the end. And an incredible... Okay, so it looked to me like Slushy was just going to straight up miss his command shockwave, and then Vasily just catches just the edge of it and gets pulled right back into the team fight. Some incredible plays, and once again, another Dragon for Team 8, consistently on top of that objective, even when they're down in turrets.
Oh man, that was a really tense fight. One slip up would have been pretty much more people dying from both sides, and we're gonna see what Team 8 can do with that little advantage that they have now. They did take it to about a 2,000 gold lead too. They go back, they buy up a little bit. We're looking for, you know, from Maple Street to finish off his last Whisper. You saw in that fight in the beginning too, Dodo tried to hit the Frost Queen's claim, but you know, he didn't really know the range on it, so Ackerman just like stepped back and was like, ha.
And it's interesting that you know, Ackerman knew exactly the range of, you know, where he could and couldn't be. Vasily maybe underestimated that just a little bit. Yeah. But off of that, just one fight turns a 2,000 gold swing in favor of Team 8. Now, one problem with the way that Team 8 played... Wait.
Oh, no, Vasily!
He stopped him!
Oh, the HUD comes out. It's not going to be enough to save him. Auto attacks in red buff, and Trolls sitting in that brush for a very long time finds Vasily overextended and trying to back. Oh no, Porpoise Pops! He's going to repel. He's going to get tethered up. He's going to come down. Where will he come down? He goes down onto Moore. He's going to throw out a Cocoon. Going to get a bomb on top of him. Gets slowed up by the Frost Queen's claim. That sets up for Weizhao to find a kill. Meanwhile, Trolls coming in, looking for No Name. Moore is low. Lomo Street finds the kill. Will he follow up any further? No Name gets over the wall with that flash. He's going to try to make it back to the turret. Will they find an ace in the hole? Trolls still chasing him down behind the turret. Looking for what he can get. Nope, they're going to give up the chase, and they're going to get the tier 2 in the mid lane instead and secure that more important objective.
Yeah, well, no more important objective, of course, than the LMQ support. He did go down, as well as Vasily. The duo lane just getting smashed there, and where Team 8 find these picks is beyond me. I was looking down there to the bottom bush, and I saw teleported Trolls.
He's going to base, right? Yeah? No?
Oh, I realized suddenly, with sinking horror, that they were on opposite teams. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? Is there server lag?
Oh, Ackerman.
Still? Oh, man.
The brush camps from both sides of this game. No Name may look for the pincer to get the net into that. He's going to run into a Dragon.
Walk right into him.
Oh, he's going to get slowed up as well. Dragon's Descent comes through. There's the Cutlass, the Satchel Charge, the Bouncing Bomb. Will it find the kill? The Iron Solari is not enough to save him. And Ackerman will find the kill with the help of Wei Zhao, but oh my god, this is the game of picks.
And this is a horrible game for AD carries, regardless of which team you're on. Because top laners, apparently, they do pretty well against ADs, at least for this point in the game. Before they've got Thorn Mails, those big tank items. Second tier mid turret does go down, and LMQ off of 1 kill on Maple Street start to pressure the base.
All right, to even out that mid turrets, both the tiers are gone, looking for inhibitors next. Oh boy, so they're looking for what they can get through the jungle. They're looking for a blue buff, cannot find it. They'll go towards that big wave down bot, possibly give it to Vasily or Ackerman. Looks like Ackerman, well, Vasily takes a white. And I don't know, this game couldn't be any closer. It's just pick after pick after pick. They're waiting in non-warded brushes. They're placing pink wards, keeping track of where everybody's going, then setting up flanks. It's just,
and
it's
this
crazy.
Is game 1 in a best-of-5 series.
Again?
Oh no,
Again,
Vasily!
He finds Vasily, slowing him with the Reckoning, forcing out the hunt. This is just a repeat. Looking to see the flash come out. He gets through the brush, using that mobility. We're going to see the heal come out of California Trolls to speed himself up. This is going to be one dead Sivir unless Ackerman can save him. He's still going through. He's going to ignore him. The red buff is going to slow him up. He's going to be able to kite through this one. Trolls is going to get turned on. There is the Divine Intervention to stop the damage. But can he find the kill? Cocoon comes out. Zadia's Hourglass mid-swing keeps him alive. Dragon's Breath is not enough, and they do find Ackerman as a kill. The ball comes in for the protect as well, but it was a little late either way. But they do find 1 kill. Vasily lives, but they trade the dragon.
Are you kidding me?
Shackles comes out. He's going to actually use a bomb to zone away Dodo. Is he going to throw out the Mega Inferno bomb? No, there's going to be a leap in it. Claws from No Name to take down Dodo. And meanwhile, the tier 2 down bot will end up falling. Vasily didn't even go back to heal up. He's got his teammates coming. This is going to be a 3v3.
No Name's coming in for the flank.
A 4v3, excuse me. As more is there, they're going to use the Inspire. They're going to use the spikes as well to slow down. He leaps in, looks for a kill. Intervention comes out again. He's going to try. 3-man shockwave comes in. Vasily ace in the hole. And it will be Wei Zhao finding the kill onto Porpoise. Moore is running away. Lomo Street gets Vasily. They go forward. Flash with the command attack.
Maple's in there.
He's in there. He's looking for one more auto attack. A crit will pick up the kill. Can he get it? Oh, the ball's on him. And looking for the net. That's a dissonance. Auto attack. And the ace comes in. But Ackerman spawns. He's going to look to hold up the base. So that's a 5 for 2 in favor of Team 8.
Off of the craziest picks I have ever seen in my entire life. You've got California trying for the repeat gank on Vasily. He gets countered out there by Ackerman.
Look at the damage he's doing to Ackerman. He's just laying into him, slowing him up with the net too. Oh, the net didn't connect, but they're going to get this inhibitor turret now.
And that's off of a double tank item. Those are 3rd tier tank items, the Randuin's Omen and on top of that Banshee's Veil. And it's like, well, which kind of damage are you itemizing against? Well, the answer is both, but neither one of those is effective enough to keep him at that turret. And Team 8, where do they pull this stuff out from? I don't know. The top lane, Kale's coming in, and
he's like, all right, Porpoise, we're going to get leapt on here. I'm going to shield you if he goes for you, and then you repel. I have Zanya's.
And this is in the pre-game planning yesterday.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, guys, this is what's going on. Get ready. And Team 8 were. And they more than having good positioning, it was just that they had each other's backs. And, a bad plan that everyone follows is always better.
It's all that trust.
It's true. They practice, like, falling over into each other's arms over and over again. You ever played Trust?
The Trust fall? Yeah, I remember that.
I played that with my brother all the time. It sucked because he never caught me. Man, the struggles of growing up and of League of Legends. It's all kind of coming in here to one.
It's coming together. I see. Okay. But we're back in the game. Red buff gets tossed over from Maple Street. He's got double buffs at this point. He's very, very strong. He's got his last Whisper, picked up another BF sword, looking for the makings of an Infinity's Edge now. And when he finishes that, can get a Banshee's Veil or a GA, whichever he prefers, and look to become a pretty much, you're going to have to hard dive this Caitlyn to get to her.
Oh my gosh. All right. So some big things happen.
Okay,
no.
So let's see if the picks come into effect here. They sweep. They make sure that there are no wards there. They have wards towards the Baron side, trying to play the mind games against Team 8 to see if they'll face check and cross the river. May bait out Wei Zhao. Gonna see the ace of the hole in. He flashes forward Reckoning. He's gonna one-shot him. Trolls gets the kill. Wei Zhao in the gonna fall. They're gonna get the shackles of the binding, looking for No Name. Vasily forced to pop the hunt to run away. They flash forward with the bite, looking for Cocoon. Can they find it? He goes to the back line. The Zadia's bait comes in. No Name goes down. Lomo Street finds a kill on to him. And now that's going to be the inhibitor being pressured. The turret is going to end up falling here. There's an open inhibitor down bot that they can swing into. Binding, Cocoon, Shockwave comes in from Maple Street, gets the Rampage. Looking for Ackerman. The auto attack is not enough. Red buff going to take down, but not find the kill. The turret will fall. The inhibitor is going to fall. That's going to be 2 inhibitors.
This might be game.
Might be game,
You've
maybe.
got 30 seconds respawn on both Moore and No Name, and pressuring the base. Ackerman can't do anything. He's already used his gap closer for the engage. Teammate, the pressuring in here. Is this too far? Can they close it out?
Oh, we're going to see a bunch of damage coming to Vasily. He's going to get chunked away. The Divided Dimension comes through. 2 turrets fall. Vasily goes down. Ackerman's the only one left. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes through. He gets a shutdown. He's going to pick up a triple kill. It's only Maple Street, but the auto attacks come in, and the Nexus goes down. What an exciting game 1.
And that's
Holy
only game
cow.
1 of a best-of-5 series. As Team 8 take it down, I saw a lot of 3-0 predictions in favor of LMQ. Looks like a lot of people are kind of rewriting their scorebooks right now. I do want to encourage you guys, if you have predictions, head over to our Reddit thread. You can see it posted in chat a lot. You can use !straw poll to vote on tonight's games as well. I'm really interested to see how the polls will maybe change over the course of just one game.
Oh, man.
But it's going to be a lot more coming your way, at least 3 more games. Or maybe even just 2 more. If LMQ fall down a couple more times, we'll have those games and a whole lot more coming your way after a quick commercial break. So don't go anywhere, because when we return, it's Game 2 between LMQ, Tianzi, iBUYPOWER, and Team 8.